Can we unpack avoidance? Because it's not just an anxiety response.
No.
Like I'm thinking about the number of conversations that people avoid, the number of situations that people avoid, the number of experiences that people want to do. Like I can think about one for myself where my daughter Sawyer and Chris have both gone skydiving, and our son is turned 18 and he wants to go skydiving. And I feel this pull of wanting to do it, but I am scared shitless of doing it. And I can feel the avoidance in my body. It's not anxiety. It is like a wall, but I feel like this avoidance topic, can we blow it open so that anybody listening who's like, well, I don't have anxiety, but you're avoiding something.
Oh, yeah.
So talk to us about what avoidance looks like, what are surprising kind of symptoms or ways that people avoid things.
I'm definitely going to talk about avoidance in a second, but before, I wanted to commit to go skydiving with me. Come on, Mel. We
Me?
Can do it. Yeah, we can do it.
All right, you're invited to Oakley's 18th birthday skydiving party. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going to go because I don't want to miss out on life.
So the only reason I went there is this. So I learned I had a fear of heights, hiking Yosemite National Park. I had no idea. My whole life, I just said I didn't like roller coasters. You know,
Right.
I wasn't avoiding roller coasters. I just didn't like roller coasters.
Yep.
Who needs to go on roller coasters anyhow? But I was hiking. I get to the end of Yosemite National Park, and you have to hold to these cables, right? And I just started to cry. I was like, there's no way I'm going to fall. The whole height phobia just came in. And I spend time, and my professional career is getting people to approach, not avoid. And I was like, okay, I can't do this. And so I started my own hierarchy, and I started by doing chairs and then stairs and then going to the roof of my house. And then I got to the top of it, which was skydiving. I was so terrified. And I avoided for a while. Eventually, my friend is like, you know what to do. So she took me skydiving, and I went 3 times in a row in the same day. And this is the trick. That's the only way to overcome that fear of heights, is that you have to train your brain to just do it over and over again. And now I love skydiving. It's like so fun.
Really?
I am not joking.
So could you go back to Yosemite now and be with those cables?
100%.
Because what I always used to say is, I'm not afraid of heights. I have this feeling that I'm falling.
That's exactly what
And
a
that's
fear of
what
heights is.
I don't like.
Yeah, but that's just biology, Mel. That's just biology. And it's the same biology behind avoidance. So you asked me about avoidance. So avoidance is anything that we do or don't do, okay, in response to a perceived threat that is designed, so there's a perceived threat that's designed to bring our anxiety, discomfort, you name it, down fast, okay, but it keeps us stuck long term.
Huh.
So let me unpack this for us.
Please.
I call it the 3 R's of avoidance. You either retreat, react, or remain. Okay, so if we retreat, what do I mean by that? It's what you're doing about skydiving. You have this thought and you're like, I'm just going to move away. Retreating is moving away from discomfort. That's that flavor of avoidance. People retreat when they get an email that they don't like. They don't read that email. My husband does this all the time. He puts an email on the other screen. He's like, I'm just not going to look at that. We retreat by not having conversations with people. We're in our head. We are thinking. We're ruminating, right? We're moving away from discomfort. For some of us, avoidance is reacting. That's how I avoid. Whenever something threatens me, perception of threat, an email about somebody that I don't like or conflict, I go towards that. I move towards that discomfort because I feel so anxious. So I write an email really fast. I can't believe you said that, blah, 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 and I press send. And then I'm like stuck on email jail because now I just reacted without thinking. And that's avoidance, right? I'm avoiding discomfort.
I don't know if I understand that. So I understand the retracting, right? But I don't understand the reacting. Can you give me another example?
I'll give you several examples. So reacting as a form of avoidance, something happens and you have discomfort. Okay, I'll give an example. Dan Harris, I was just recording with him last week, and he gave a great example, a personal example. He said, whenever I feel threat, the way he reacts with anger.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I yell at my dog when he's barking too much. I'm like, ah!
That's it, because your dog barking is creating some discomfort in your body. That discomfort in your body, basically, you have to attack the discomfort so you feel better, right? Responding to email, anger, grabbing a drink too fast. Have a bad day and you're just going to.
Oh, so is having a smoke, a vape, hitting a joint, pouring a drink, that is reacting?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's funny, we can slice and dice the R's of avoidance, but like you're basically trying to moving towards discomfort and in reacting, right? Versus retreating, you're moving away.
Gotcha.
Let me do the third one and then we can unpack a couple of examples. But the third one is remain. This is the deer in the headlight. It is staying in a situation when you know no longer works. You're in a job you dislike, but the fear of another job just makes you so paralyzed that you stay in a relationship that you don't like, right? It's frozen. So the remain of avoidance is you're frozen in place. You know it's not working, right? But you're not going towards discomfort or moving away. You're just literally frozen.
Wow. So what I love about this is that this, for anybody that feels like, well, I don't have anxiety. What you do have are moments every single day where your emotions get triggered and you're uncomfortable.
That's it.
And what I'm gathering from this conversation is that your work is really about creating a baseline of people of emotional peace.
That's 100% it.
That when you are uncomfortable, when you're triggered, when you're afraid, when your emotions go bananas, literally that is the moment that we all seek to avoid. And avoiding, wow. So is drinking or smoking, would that be more of a retreat?
That falls more in a retreat. So right, you're moving away, you're trying to take that discomfort away. So it's absolutely a retreat. But I love what you said, Mel, because that is it. We all want to be comfortable all the time. Let's be clear, comfortable all the time. There's nothing meaningful there, right? And if we are completely uncomfortable, completely out of our comfort zone, we're on fight, flight, and freeze, and we're stuck. So what I want to create is a comfortably uncomfortable world, a world that you're just enough out of your comfort zone towards the things that matter the most, and that you're fighting the real enemy here, which is avoidance. And we avoid in micro ways, right? We just turn on the TV and numb out. We go on social media. And those little moments, it's like, that's what I love, your 5-second rule, because that's sort of the same idea. It's like in 5 seconds, you can choose to go towards a life that matters, or you can choose avoidance. And it's a choice.
You're right, it is. Because we do avoidance on autopilot. And there is a big lie that we're telling ourselves. Because you said that we do it because we're uncomfortable. And that in order to live the life that we want, we've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. But I believe if you're really honest with yourself, you'll see that avoiding the hard stuff, avoiding the things that you fear, avoiding taking a risk, that's actually more uncomfortable because you know that you're selling yourself short. You know that you are feeling stuck. Like I would think that kind of sitting alone in your apartment with no friends as a teenager was way more uncomfortable than sitting with that dude the first time with your grandmother.
100%. It's like I love that you said it's a lie. It is a lie because the discomfort that we feel facing things is so much less than this monster that we create in our head of what they would be like. I bet when we go skydiving, you come off of that plane, you're going to be like, I landed and I was like, this is the best orgasm ever. Like, this is better than anything else.
Really?
I was like, I have this video and I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed at this video. But like, it is true because it's so liberating to overcome a fear.
It's true.
It's like, and you're right. Like once you're out of that plane, the discomfort and you feel some fear jumping out, but then all of a sudden your whole system quiets down and you're like, oh my God, I'm living my best life. And that's what I wish for everyone, that they find their little corners of avoidance, overcome it so they can show up. Like, are you being your best self? And if you're not, it's because you're avoiding.
Why do we do this?
We're biologically wired to avoid. So the brain is amazing, right? It cannot differentiate real threat from perceived threat, right? Our brain is wired to do what? To predict and protect. That's what our brain is doing. It's protecting us from danger and it's predicting, and it's predict based on past information. So your family member who is having some trouble with avoidance and work, the brain is using the perception of work as danger as something really bad, like it's a lion.
So it's predicting.
It's predicting.
And then it's making a call on how to protect you based on its prediction.
That's it. And that call is avoidance, right? So instead of going on fight, flight, or freeze because there is actually a lion, that's why I coined the 3 R's of avoidance, because it's the same biology of fight, flight, or freeze, but it's a perceived threat.
That makes so much sense. I have my jaw on the floor. I don't think anybody has really shown this like spotlight on the topic of avoidance and how it's everywhere in our lives. And avoiding is the main thing we do. You're right.
And if what we do is walk away from the things that are meaningful, if what we do is avoidance, then we are robbing ourselves from our best lives.
Holy cow.